Welcome to Matisse Inspired Paper Cutouts, a part of 3. Today we're going to work on the foreground. The foreground is the part of the artwork that looks closest to the viewer. And with paper cutouts, it actually is closest, even if it's just a little paper width closer. It's closer. And the foreground usually contains the subject matter or the focal point. Let's begin. Hello, my talented artists. Support the arts and subscribe. I have created my background with 4 large shapes. One shape is organic and the other are loosely geometric shapes. So that is the first structure. The first goal is to create your background with at least 3 large shapes. The second structure that I've put in place for you is that I want you to have at least 3 organic shapes. So I am going to pick out a paper. I would like to show you how to cut one shape and get 4 of the same shape. The first thing we need to do is we have our paper and we fold it twice. You want to try to match up the sides. So if I'm folding here, I'm just matching up this side. I don't want to fold it like that because that's not matched up. So I'm trying to match it up. 1 fold, 2 folds. Now I'm going to cut an organic shape and try to use most of this little space. And I am just going to let my scissors kind of glide along the paper. Matisse said that cutting paper felt like flying to him because his scissor was kind of gliding along, making a line. He also noticed that when he was cutting, he was making lines.
I notice I'm making a bumpy line.
It can be geometric, but I want you to remember that I do want you to have at least 3 organic shapes. And this is a very fast way to get 4 organic shapes. So let's look. So because I folded it twice, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm going to glue those shapes down because otherwise I might lose them. You don't have to use them all. You can decide if you only want to use 3 of them. You only need 3 organic shapes. You could even lend one to a friend. You can trade around. It's nice when artists collaborate. Oh, I noticed this one has a little white, so I have to decide, do I want that shape? I could always alter it by cutting it off, or I could trade it out for the other one that has its solid orange, this other one I made. But I do know I'm going to turn them over on my messy paper, and I'm going to spread glue. Now, one thing I did notice about this glue, this is kind of a new formula, is that it is not as tacky or sticky. So I would say, I was doing the dot dot, not a lot, which is important. You don't want a lot. But since we're doing it with our finger, I would say dip and spread to the edge. That's our goal. Dip and spread to the edge. Now I've already dipped and spread this one to the edge. I'm actually going to wipe my fingers off on the other shapes. If you wipe your fingers off before you press your shape down, it will definitely keep your artwork neater. Where do I want to put this one? I think I'm going to put this one. Whoops. See, I got... That piece likes me. Okay, so I got to focus on this one that I pressed down. The smaller shapes are much easier to press down, but still make sure all the little lobes coming off are pressed flat. So we're gonna dip and spread. That's our new glue motto, dip and spread. Dip and spread, dip and spread. Come on everybody, just dip and spread. Okay, let's see if I can wipe my fingers and then peel this piece off.
Press it flat all the way to the edge.
Ooh. This orange is very similar to this yellow. There's not a lot of contrast. The orange shows up against the purple and the blue. I'm not very happy with that. So quickly, I'm gonna peel it up before it sticks, and I'm gonna move it because I want to see my shapes. I want the viewers, the people looking at my art, to see my shapes. I don't want to put colors that are similar on top of each other. That is low contrast.
You might want low contrast. Low contrast is beautiful and calming.
And I want to create high contrast between my shapes
To really catch the viewer's eye.
Another thing I can do is I can cut my shape
So that it has a straight edge.
like that, and then I can put it different places. I could put it there. Yeah, I think that's where I want it to go. I want you to have a background with big shapes and a foreground with little shapes. These are some of my little shapes or medium shapes. And I want you to have a couple of geometric shapes and a lot of organic shapes, at least 3. I want to talk about one last thing before it's your turn, and that is your title or your idea. My title is Chicken Yard. When you're creating an artwork that's not particularly realistic, it's called an abstraction. So I don't have to make a realistic picture of a chicken yard. I can just give the idea of it. But I do want sort of one shape that's sort of chickeny. So I'm going to turn my orange paper over, and I'm going to draw sort of an outline of a chicken. And it does not have to be perfect. I need some legs coming down here. Maybe I'll make the legs a different color.
Be sure to draw on the white side of your paper. All pencil marks should be on the white side. That's where you're going to put your glue. You're going to put all your glue and your pencil marks on the white side. That's the back of your paper. Contrast is interesting because this orange does contrast with the yellow. I'm thinking about what other shapes I want to add to my artwork.
I'm just thinking of the outdoors. We have some organic plant shapes. We have a blue sky. Maybe this is the building when we were building the wood chicken coop and the pen and the run. It's just some ideas, but I can also just be playing with some colors and shapes and just put what I like. It does not have to all be an illustration of a chicken coop. I just like some of these colors and shapes together.
Remember to look at all the shapes that you have been cutting, even your scraps. You might find an unusual shape that you want to use. So always remember to be open to any opportunity in art. Let's review the structures or the goals of our artwork. Number 1, we want to make sure that we start with large shapes in the background. We must cut out 3 large background shapes and glue them on. Number 2, we want to have 3 organic shapes. You're probably going to have more than 3 organic shapes that are medium or small size. And the third goal is to make sure that all of your shapes lay flat on your artwork.
I know you can do it, and I can't wait to see what you create.